Hello, people. If you saw the previous part, you'd think that the title of this video can't possibly be true. That there was so much that was so mind-boggling. How could the sequel possibly double down on this? Well, they certainly did it. Hello, Keyflame here. Recently I've recovered from basically losing my voice, so forgive me if my voice sounds off. People, this was a long time coming. I started watching Spy Kids 2 weeks ago, and procrastination prevented me from continuing where I left off. Then I sat myself down and finished the movie at last. And just so you all can grasp what the title means, my notes on Spy Kids 1 were only 3 pages long. This movie is 9 pages long. 9 frickin' pages! Anyways, let's get into this utter chaos, shall we? Because if I dragged out this intro even this video is going to be long enough, okay? We cannot drag this intro. Anyways, this movie starts off with us being informed that the Spy Kids section of the OSS was indeed founded, although we never see how it was exactly founded. As we are also informed that Junie and Carmen aren't the top Spy Kids, which is, surprising considering the director of the OSS in the last movie said Carmen and Junie were the best spies he's ever seen. Oh yeah, and just to make a correction, I said in the last movie that the president is the one who called Carmen and Junie and called them the best spies he's ever seen, when in actuality it's the director of the OSS, and in actuality he doesn't become the president until the third movie. Good to know. Anyways, we see Dinky Winks own a place called Troublemaker Theme Park, which is a theme park themed after Robert Rodriguez's studio? Already the fourth wall breaking is utterly mind-blowing. Dinky Winks also wants great ideas for his park, which will come back later. Then Alexandra, the president's daughter who comes to the park, sabotages the juggler ride for a reason we hopefully hear. Then Junie and Carmen are called onto the scene as we hear them be referred to as Agents SK1 and SK2. Again, from Beacon's clone tags referring to Junie and Carmen as the first to this, there's something going on here. Junie and Carmen were simply at the park on standby. Perhaps they expected something to go wrong? There are also agents SK3 and SK4, who were sent as backup, Gary and Gertie Giggles. Gary and Gertie are the children of Donegan Giggles, one of the kidnapped spies in Spy Kids 1, who Carmen and Junie helped save, and the one who prompted Gregorio and Ingrid to get back into action. The movie says that Gertie and Gary come to the park after Carmen and Junie, but if they are more competent, then why not send them first instead of Carmen and Junie? And then we finally get an answer as to why Alexandra sabotaged the ride and is endangering herself. It's so her father, the president, can come. Also, something worth noting is that while in the first movie, Vegan does create a robot clone of Alexandra, the clone doesn't look anything like the Alexandra we see in the sequel, down to even the hair color. Anyways, it's revealed Alexandra has the transmuker, which is considered a code red situation, as they need to retrieve it at once. As soon as the car with Alexandra heads out after the rescue, she looks horrified. What is it with the random concerning elements of these movies? First, the random kid being taken away as soon as he acknowledged what happened, And now Alexandra looking somewhat horrified? Interesting. We later learn Carmen wants the Yukata assignment, and from what we hear, it's a massive assignment, but Ingrid forbids it, as she needs to be a level 2 agent to go alone. Level 1 agent to go alone. And level 1 is the highest level, just to clarify. Then, although this isn't as batshit insane as Junie being able to perfectly replicate other people's voices, it's still wild. Carmen is such an insanely skilled hacker. She can hack into the pentagram, which even surprises Ingrid. What is up with these children? There's something weirdly off about them. Oh well, at least this movie isn't gonna constantly double down on this fact. Right? Anyways, we then see Ralph, a bug robot who serves surprisingly little purpose despite being in the advertising a lot. Also, Gregorio seems to have a similar goofiness to Junie. I don't know how this fits into anything, I just took note of it. Anyways, then we get to the party, where Gregorio really wants to receive the grand promotion of being the director of the OSS. And this is a side conversation, but it's worth noting. We see some children having a conversation, and Danielle and Deanne DeLuc, who are kids, created InfoLeak, an online trading system for swapping international secrets. Wow, probably wasn't even a full minute and I was already proven wrong about this movie not doubling down on the kids' insane abilities. Like seriously, who are Danielle and Deanne DeLuc? The funny thing is, I don't think we ever hear about them again. Anyways, Junie has a suspicion regarding the waiter who offered him champagne. I mean, valid. Why are you offering a child alcohol? Junie then has suspicions about all the waiters, not just the one who offered a child alcohol. Also, when Junie and Alexandra are dancing, it's revealed that the president is paranoid about Alexandra's safety. Junie can also perfectly dance ballet, like Alexandra. The fact that compared to everything else these children have accomplished, the perfect ballet dancing isn't even impressive. We then hear more about the transmuker device that Alexandra stole. The transmuker is a device that can shut off all electronic and magnetic waves. Wow, that's powerful. But why invent something like that if the only thing it'd lead to is utter chaos? Like, oh, I don't know, the third brain from the last movie? Then we meet the president of the movie. The president claims Alexandra accidentally took the transmuker, covering up for his child. Anyways, Gregorio is about to be named president of the OSS, but Donegan Giggles hacked the president's speech to say the honor goes to him. Damn, Donegan Giggles, Gregorio and his children saved you. Who pissed in your cornflakes? Donegan Giggles grants his kids the highest honor to become level 1 agents, meaning they can take on the Yukata assignment, even though at this point we have no idea what the mission entails. But we know Carmen wants it badly, so gosh darn it. Then, when the adults drink the alcohol, it's revealed that a knockout drug was slipped into the drinks, as all of the adults are sleeping, and of course, it was the mysterious waiters, confirming Junie's suspicions. Question: if they did want to knock everyone out, why not slip it into all of the drinks, not just the alcohol? Well, maybe they only wanted to knock out the adults? Well, no, because the waiter very clearly wanted to give Junie alcohol, meaning they wanted them to be knocked out too. So, why not just slip the knockout drugs into all of the drinks? Either this doesn't make any sense, or it's just that one is, in particular, very, very stupid. Anyways, the waiters were after the transmuker device all along, and a funny realization hits when we see that they have red and white color scheme for a reason. They are magnet men. Huh. Funny. The knockout drug conveniently wears off as soon as the magnet men disappear, but during the Spy Kids' efforts to retrieve the transmuter back, Gary and Junie get into a big physical fight, resulting in Gary pinning the blame onto Junie once the adults wake up. Donegan giggles, then looks at him disappointingly, and almost everyone does the same. Anyways, the scene ends as we are introduced to the existence of an entire building called OSS Junior out in public, which I'm sure won't go horribly wrong at some point. I'm certain they are prepared for emergencies, but wouldn't something like this be a little bit more private? I don't know. And returning to random off-screen conversations, Mike Cardenas and Danielle Deluc are responding to the Lily's physical abilities seminar. I guess we cut back to the Deluc family after all. It's just a different kid, I suppose. But who's Mike Cardenas, and is that even how you pronounce that last name? Anyways, the janitor looks disappointed at Junie, but by the way everyone turns at him, you think he'd done a lot worse than simple roughhousing. Yeah, it's unprofessional, but they're kids at the end of the day. Very bizarre kids, but with abnormal abilities, but still kids. Gary blames the transmuter being stolen on Junie, and the president in a cartoonish way says, "We're doomed," referring to the transmuter being stolen. On a side note, Floop's Fooky is still airing. Good for him. And the film people are still the family's servants. We then learn Junie was fired for what he did, and Carmen knows this because she hacked some more. Okay, is it just me, or is the OSS being just a little bit dramatic? Punishment? Yes, but being fired? Do you really want to fire who the original director said was one of your best spies, or at the very least, best spy kids? Oh well. Hopefully the villains in this movie get severely worse punishments at the end of the movie. I'm cursing myself, aren't I? Oh yeah, and here's Carmen's very long full name. Carmen Elizabeth Juliana Echo Sky Brava Cortez. Why the long name? And I bring this up because firstly, I never actually took note of what she fully said in the first movie, and secondly, we hear Junie's full name as well, Junie Rocket Racer Rebel Cortez, which is interesting when you also learn that Robert Cortez's son is named Racer, whose dreams inspired Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Interesting trivia of the day. Anyways, Carmen casually gives Junie his job back by hacking into the OSS. I know Carmen is insanely skilled, but if a child can hack into your systems, you should up your security a bit. Especially for something like the OSS. Anyways, she then hacks into OSS Junior to view the security camera footage. We then finally learn what the Yukata mission is. OSS Cargo has been disappearing in basically Madagascar's version of the Bermuda Triangle. Donegan Google says the survivors have been telling delusional tales of a mysterious island with strange creatures. Because how ridiculous it sounds, the agents were fired. Guys, you're the OSS. I've assumed you've seen far stranger things than mysterious creatures. But then again, we know the OSS fires people for strange reasons, with Junie and all. Anyways, now that the area where the Magnet people took the transmuter device is in that same area the agents talked about, they're sending in Gary and Gertie. Carmen then hacks some more, leading to her getting Junie and her the Yukata mission, leaving Gary and Gertie somewhere in the Gobi Desert. But question, if she wanted this mission so desperately, then couldn't she just hack the systems to give herself any mission she desires? How come she didn't do this sooner? Why wait until now? Oh yeah, and Junie's perfect voice replication comes back. Looks like they at least remembered that. Then Isidore gives Junie and Carmen some gadgets for the mission ahead, including a rubber band. As Junie says, there are 999 different ways to use a rubber band. I wonder what they are. Anyways, Gary and Gertie can't help but brag and be egotistical. Wow, they seem like perfect siblings, being downright evil together. Nothing's going to ruin that, right? Gary then purposefully squashed Ralph. Well, there's being mean and there's that. Why do that to little old Ralph, you monster? Carmen thinks she can change Gary, which Junie doesn't get, which Carmen confirms he never will. Okay, Carmen, she likes her men low-key evil. Anyways, even before Fegan Floop was called by Junie, he was singing about an Isle of Dreams. Speaking of which, I'm certainly excited for this island full of dreams, 'cause that's what's on the island, right? Just brace yourselves, people. Anyways, Fegan is also using the robot clones of Carmen and Junie from the first movie on his show. Question: how haven't the robot clones of the children of significant figures not garnered some controversy? Anyways, the real reason why Junie called Fegan was to talk to Alexander Minion, the former puppet master behind Fegan. He's now been demoted to a simple role on Fegan's show, role he's seemingly gotten used to. But where are the other two villains from the original movie, Mr. Lisp and Mrs. Gradenko? They were, villains in the original, but we never hear about them at all. We hear Donegan Giggles had first contact with the Transmuker device, being the head of the project. Junie then records a message for Alexandra before their submarine begins to go haywire. After that scene, we cut back to the parents, as Ingrid and Gregorio are having a conversation. As it's revealed, Gregorio never got his in-laws' blessing to marry Ingrid. Anyways, Donegan Giggles shows up to inform them that Junie and Carmen have left. And of course, as Ingrid and Gregorio are about to depart to save their kids, Donegan Giggles informs them that their parents have arrived. What fucking timing. Then we meet Ingrid's parents, as it's not outright stated as of now, but basically confirmed that both of them were former members of the OSS. And I assume they left due to their old age. My question being, how far back does the OSS go? Was it established when Ingrid's parents joined, or further back perhaps? Then Carmen and Junie, still in the ocean, question the island's sudden disappearance before them, as it previously wasn't there. And people, this is the perfect cutoff point. So, because get ready, the things that happen on this island are just so batshit insane that, yeah, if you thought this first part was tame or even just on par with Spy Kids 1's level of insanity, then oh boy, you are just not ready for what part 2 has in store. So, until next time. Also, YouTube shout out goes to Alexa Rains Reacts.